Good morning. Welcome back to online classes of VLSA design. In today's class, we are going to see about our next topics, that are your sheet resistance and area capacitance, right? So before moving on to the next topic, we'll just revise what were the topics that we have discussed in yesterday's class. So we have seen about the logic gates and other complex gates that we are going to use, right? So here we have seen about your basic logic gates, means which are the gates that are used for implementing any different kind of application. So without these gates, it is very difficult to design any other device. So we have seen these logic gates in CMOS, and the basic logic gates for your what you can say OR gate, right? Then you have seen about your AND gate as well as the OR operation. And the next topic that we have seen was your AND OR inverter, AOI and OAI. That we have seen how we have seen how we have to draw this logic diagram for that one, and what is the basic circuit, how we have to draw, all we have seen in yesterday's class. So in today's class we are going to see about your next topic, that is your sheet resistance. I hope everyone knows what is meant by resistivity, right? So what is the resistance? It is nothing but to oppose the flow of current. Here also similar to that one, we have to oppose, means you have to stop that one. So here the measure of resistivity is averaged over the surface. See, this is your layer. Go back to your first chapter where we have seen the IDS and VDS characteristics. There we have considered your transistor in a particular dimension, where you will be having your gate, drain and source, and you will be having a particular channel with some length, breadth and height, right? Here also this sheet resistance is nothing but it is a measure of the resistance of the thin film which we are using, that are normally uniform in thickness. Okay, we have to measure the resistance of the thin films. This is nothing but your sheet resistance. Okay, this is called your sheet resistance. What is sheet resistance? It is the measure of resistance of thin films. Thin films, we are considering you are fabricating a complete IC on a silicon thin film, correct? You are taking a small wafer of a silicon, that is thin part of that, and you are doing all the process. So sheet resistance is measure of the resistance on that particular thin film, which is normally uniform in thickness, means it should be of I'll give an example of 2 lambda. It should the whole thickness of your material or the film should be of 2 lambda only. So the utility of sheet resistance as opposed to resistance or resistivity is that it is directly measured using 4-point probe measurement, or indirectly by using a non-contact eddy current based testing device. So this sheet resistance can be used to compare the electrical properties of the device that are significantly different in size. So mainly the agenda of your sheet resistance is, what it is doing, it will be comparing the electrical properties of this particular device, what you will be using, to that of your significant different sizes. Electrical properties will be different for different kinds of sizes of your material, what you will say, ICs. So this sheet resistance will be used to compare the electrical properties of that particular films and particular properties of the device that are significantly different in size. It will be comparing the electrical properties with respect to the different sizes. So here your R is equals to RSH into L by W, where what we can say, this W is nothing but the cross sectional area. This whole area is given as your what we will say, W, for the cross sectional area. So I am telling this as this resistance of this whole thin film is equals to R, capital R is equals to RSH into L by W ohms. And how we have obtained this one? This R is equals to rho into L by A. Rho is nothing but the resistivity, right? So this rho is resistivity, which and this L is nothing but your length of your thin film, and A is the area of this thin film, area of your particular thin film. So we are having the same measurement, so we usually think that this is a square. So area is equals to what we will say, length into height. So this is your W into T. This A is equals to W into T. So your R is equals to rho into L divided by T into W ohms. So overall we can write it as RSH into L by W, where RSH is equals to rho by T ohms, and you will be always, these units will be in ohms. I'll clearly explain in the next slide. See here, I am considering the sheet resistance over here, right? See the sheet resistance. I am considering a sheet of length. How much is the length? L, and width is W, and height is this T, right? And it is the resistivity. I am giving resistivity. There I have shown in the other slide as RSH. You can take it as rho. Rho is the resistivity, right? So this is the resistivity, and it is the AB side, okay? And your A is the cross sectional area, okay? So your rho is equals to now RAB. So resistance of this whole thin film RAB is equals to rho into L divided by A. Rho into L divided by A, where A is the cross sectional area. So this area I am giving it as rho into L divided by W into T, width into your height, okay? So A is equals to W into T, where L is equals to W, that is square of the resistance material. If I am considering it as square of the resistance material, then I will be considering in this case when L is equals to W. So your RAB is equals to rho divided by T, because W by W, this both will be cancelled. That only when the case when you are having the square of the resistance material, you are having a square thin film. So it will be independent on the area of the square. So what are the conditions? So RAB, actually RAB is equals to rho into L divided by A. Now what is R, in case the L is equals to W, your RAB or the resistivity is equals to rho by T. That is nothing but your RS ohms per square meter. I am considering this rho by T is equals to RS ohm per square meter, correct? So in terms of square of the resistance, so these will be independent on area of the square, right, and dependent on the resistivity of the layers. How many layers are there, what will the resistivity of that particular layers, that is very important, right? So it is very independent on area of the square, depends on, it completely depends upon the resistivity of the layer, and it is the measure of the resistance of the thin films which are uniform in thickness. It is one more definition that what is actually sheet resistance. This sheet resistance I have given here also. Sheet resistance is the measure of resistance of thin film that are uniform in thickness. We can also say in other words, like what it is the measure of the resistance of the thin films which are uniform in thickness, means their thickness should be always uniform in nature, and it is commonly used to categorize the materials that are made of semiconductor doping and your metal deposition and glass containing, okay, or glass coating. So it is commonly where you will be using the characteristics of the material which are made by semiconductor doping or the metal deposition or the glass coating. At this particular application or characteristics, we will be using this one, okay? So if this was about your sheet resistance. Now let's see a small example for this one also. So I am considering a sheet resistance. Now consider a uniform slab of a conducting material, where we can use this one at the materials made of semiconductor doping, means it is a conducting material and a metal deposition and a glass coating. At this points we can use our sheet resistance. What is sheet resistance again? I will be repeating this once again. It is used to measure the resistance of the thin films where you will be having the uniform thickness, correct? Uniform thickness of your particular layer. So let's just see one example for that one. Consider a uniform slab of a conducting material of resistivity rho. Okay, you are having a uniform slab, means your thin film is uniform, okay, overall width, and which is conducting material with resistivity is rho, and width is W, length is L, and thickness is T. Okay, now consider the resistance RAB. Your resistance of your whole thin slab is RAB between the 2 points, as if I have given here. See this one, width is W, okay, length is T, height is length is L, height is T, and your resistivity is rho, and it is a thin film. I am giving it name as A and B. Fine. So the actual values associated with the layers of the mass circuit are dependent on the resistivity of the material forming the layers and the thickness of that particular material. So the actual values will be depending on what? It will be depending on the resistivity of that particular material, how much it is able to find, it is having that resistivity and forming the layers and thickness of that particular material. Okay, so the sheet resistant concept is applied to the MOS transistor. Then how you will be saying, we have seen the layout diagrams. If you are going to find the sheet resistance of this particular MOS transistor, so what is this? Right slanting line is your polysilicon. You are able to see here. See, this right slanting lines is a polysilicon and this is N diffusion, correct? And we are saying that minimum size of the transistor is of 2 lambda, correct? The width of this layer is 2 lambda and width of length of this particular polysilicon is 2 lambda. So it's 2 by 2 lambda. So minimum size of the transistor is your channel, what we will get, channel resistance is equals to 1 square into Rs, ohm per square meter. Okay, so your channel length, this is the consideration that you have to consider. I hope there was some gap. Okay, so your channel resistance is equals to 1 into what you will get, 1 square into Rs, ohms per square. So this is channel resistance is equals to Rs, and that will be given as 10 to the power of 4 ohms per 5 micrometer technology. Okay, so this is how you will be finding. I hope you remember in your NMOS fabrication we have said that we will be using a pure silicon crystal. To that, P impurities have to be introduced in that substrate as to grow the crystal, right? So in that one again you have to add some boron impurities, plus you have to give the resistivity, that to up to 2 to 25 ohms. Correct? So depending upon this resistivity of sheet resistance, we will be providing our resistivity to the particular material or the particular thin layer. So by seeing this, we can say that for this particular kind of what we will say MOS transistor, the resistivity should be 10 to the power of 4 ohms in 5 micrometer technology. Correct? Now if I consider one more example over here. So what I am having, it is a NMOS transistor, NMOS diffusion. To that I am having 4 layers of polysilicon. So if each layer is of 2 lambda, then 2 into 4, that is nothing but your 8 lambda. So your 8 lambda by 2 lambda is the length. So if your Z is a constant, the length to width ratio, this Z is called as length to width ratio, is given as L by W, length by width ratio, that is 1:1. You have to consider this. So what is the length? How many polysilicon layers you are having? 4 polysilicon layers, each of 2 lambda. So it is 8 lambda divided by width is 2 lambda. So 8 divided by L, length divided by width, that is gives us the ratio, and that is denoted by denotion is given by Z, that is equals to L by W, that is given as 8 lambda divided by 2 lambda, and Z is equals to 4. So your whole channel resistance is equals to Z into Rs. This channel resistance is equals to Z into Rs. What is the value of Z? 4. And what is the resistance that you have got? Resistance, channel resistance 10 to the power of 4. So your whole channel resistance is equals to that 4 into 10 to the power of 4 ohms in 5 micrometer technology. Okay. So this is the channel resistance. The overall channel resistance of this particular material is 4 into 10 to the power of 4. If you consider here you are having only 2 lambda, 2 divided by 2, you will be getting nothing, 1, and 1 into 10 to the power of 4, obviously you will get 10 to the power of 4 channel resistance. If you are having the channel resistance, you will be having 4 polysilicon layers, then your width will be length will be increased, and you will be getting the channel resistance. Means this much of channel resistance should be given to that particular layer where you are going to fabricate. So this is how you will be getting the sheet resistance. So here is a small tabular column, like how we are going to use this what we call channel to length length to width ratio for pull up transistors and pull down transistors, and which will be on, which will be off, and what will be the sheet resistance or the channel resistance for your pull up transistor or the pull down transistor, which are all given in this particular table. I'll be giving the notes for you people. Please go through with that particular notes so that it will be clear for you. Okay. Now if we consider one more example to find the sheet resistance concept for and this sheet resistance concept which is applied to the CMOS inverter, correct? So what is CMOS inverter is nothing but the combination of your PMOS as well as your NMOS, right? So here I am giving the ratio is 1:1, means length and width of that particular what we call diffusion or the transistor is 1:1. So what is this one? This is your pull up transistor and is your pull down transistor, correct? What already ratio is given to you, 1:1. So your ZPU is equals to L by W. Z is nothing but the ratio of your length by width, which is given as Z. For pull up ratio or for the pull up transistor, L by W, what is length? 1, and width is also 1. So obviously you will be getting the channel resistance for this particular pull up transistor as 1 into 25 kilo ohms. So these are the channel resistance which are already given through a particular table. That table also I'll forward to you people. Okay, now if you consider this channel resistance for the pull down transistor, okay, for an NMOS transistor, as we have said already here, okay, for NMOS transistor it is given as 10 to the power of 4 ohms. Yes, so again the length and the width is 1:1. So it is ZPD, pull down transistor, is given as 1. So your channel resistance of your pull down transistor is ZPD into RS, and this sheet resistance of your what will say pull down transistor is 10 to the power of 4 ohms. So the channel resistance for your pull down transistor is given as your 10 to the power of 4 ohms. Okay. This is how you will be calculating the what we call sheet resistance of your particular inverters. Fine. So that was about your sheet resistance. So what is a sheet resistance? Why we are going to use this sheet resistance? Because it is the measure of resistance of the thin flames which are uniform in nature, uniform in thickness. Overall your what will say transistor layers are uniform in nature. So we are finding out the resistance, means how much resistance is already present in your particular thin layers. Now the next topic that is your in this one is your area capacitance. Okay, what is meant by area capacitance? So for any fabrication process, we have to know that the conducting layers are separated by insulating layers, correct? So for any fabrication process, we know that the conducting layers are separated by insulations, that is dielectric layers. Thus the parallel plate capacitance effect must be present. Means there should be something that capacitance value should be known. A parallel layer or the parallel plate capacitance effect must be present. So for any layer, by knowing the dielectric thickness, we can calculate the area of that particular capacitance or the area of that capacitance. We have seen the what is resistance or the sheet resistance of that particular thin layer. Now we have to see or have to calculate the area capacitance of that particular area also, means how much capacitance we require for that layers to be separated and how much electricity has to be passed, how much it has to be stored. For that particular purpose we require this area capacitance, where the dielectric what will say the parallel plate capacitance effect must be present. And for any layers, by knowing the dielectric thickness, we can calculate the area of the capacitance, and that area of capacitance can be calculated by the formula which is given as C is equals to epsilon naught epsilon ins A divided by T farads. Obviously capacitance is measured in terms of farads, so C is equals to epsilon naught epsilon ins into A divided by D. So what is epsilon naught? Epsilon naught is nothing but absolute permittivity, okay, which is nothing but the value of 8.854 into 10 to the power of minus 14 farads per centimeter, and epsilon ins is what we call relative permittivity of the insulation layer, okay, the layer which is not conducting. That is equals to 4, because the material which you are using for all this fabrication process is silicon. So the what we say relative permittivity is 4 for the silicon, and A is nothing but the area of the plates. the plates which you are using, that the electric thickness what we are finding. So the area of that particular plates is A, and D is the thickness of the silicon dioxide. Okay, the material for the first material, for the first layer of silicon dioxide we will be having 1 micrometer thickness. For the second time when you are getting the gate terminal, we will be using 0.1 micrometer of thickness. So D gives you the thickness of the silicon dioxide. So for the normal approach is to express the layer, layers area capacitance in picofarad per micrometer square. Okay, for normal approaches what we are going to have, it should be expressed in terms of your area capacitance should be expressed in terms of picofarads per micrometer square. So here I am giving the typical values, like values of your capacitances. So here you will be having capacitance for gate to channel. So the typical values for the capacitance and the relative respective values for 5 micrometer technology are given as, I have said that this what we will say, this capacitance will be found between the layers. We have to see the capacitance for every layer. So gate to channel, one layer will be there. Okay, then diffusion, for diffusion how much you have to use for polysilicon to substrate and metal to substrate. Okay, for polysilicon we will be using for the gate. Okay, then metal for the interconnections, how much capacitance should be there, means how much electricity is coming, charging and discharge, that is all important. So the capacitance for gate to channel should be 4, right? For which technology? 5 micrometer technology, and the material we are using is silicon dioxide. So that's the reason. So gate to channel, the value in picofarads of that capacitance should be 4, and for the diffusion it should be 1. Okay, and polysilicon to substrate it should be 0.4, and metal to substrate its value should be 0.3. These are the values in picofarads into 10 to the power of minus 4 per micrometer square, and these are the values which you are given are relative values in your brackets. These are the similar relative values that we will be considering, which are always given in this bracket. Okay, this is the tabular column or the typical values of the capacitance. Okay, which capacitance? Area capacitance. So the standard unit of the capacitance is given as, or you can define it as, gate to the channel capacitance of the MOS transistors, which is having W is equals to L, that is the width should be equals to length, and it is denoted by as your delta Cg. Okay, so the capacitance value is given as 4 into 10 to the power of minus 4 picofarads per micrometers. This I have already seen in this tabular column, that capacitance for gate to channel and the value of your what will say capacitance will be given as 4. Okay, and the units will be picofarad in 10 to the power of minus 4 per micrometer square. So the standard unit of your capacitance is defined as gate to channel capacitance of a MOS transistor, which is having width of that particular layer should be equals to length of that particular layer, and it is denoted by the symbol square Cg. So the standard unit capacitance I have told, right? So I am giving an example for a 5 micrometer technology. The capacitance value is given as 4 into 10 to the power of minus 4 picofarads per micrometer square, and the area or area per standard square, this is area per standard square, is equals to 5 micrometer technology I am considering, right? This is 5 micrometer technology. So 5 into 5, that is 25 micrometer square. This is the area. Now calculate your Cg over here, capacitance value. Cg is equals to 25 into the capacitance value what we are having for the 5 micrometer technology, that to gate to what is channel capacitance, 25 into 4 into 10 to the power of minus 4 picofarads, right? And that will be, you will be getting the value Cg, that is equals to 0.01 picofarads. Correct? This is the standard unit of capacitance that is given as 0.01 picofarads. So I hope you are clear with the area capacitance as well as your sheet resistance. So these were the last topics of your unit. I hope you are clear with this one. In case of any doubts, please do let me know. I will be giving the notes also. Please do practice well. So in today's class, I will wind up class here itself. Okay, thank you.